stand on Yugambeh land. All Saints Anglican School would like to acknowledge the traditional owners and caretakers of this land. We honour and respect the elders, past, present and emerging, and their traditional methods of caring for their country. We also wish to acknowledge those of our Indigenous brothers and sisters who wish to share their knowledge for the sustainable care of their country.
Mark Jacobsen is the first speaker in our Operational Leader program for the 2020 Sustainability Symposium. Mark is the Managing Director of Replas, who since 1990 has grown to become the market leader for recycled plastic products in Australia and New Zealand. For over 20 years, Mark has worked towards changing the culture of corporate Australia by encouraging industry leaders to take responsibility for the waste they produce, creating a sustainable community that reduces, reuses and recycles plastic is more important now than ever before, and Mark works with organisations and individuals who share his passion for creating a circular economy. At Replas, waste plastic is seen as a valuable resource that can make the world more sustainable for future generations. Mark strongly believes we can build a better environment through the procurement of recycled plastic products, and that Replas is an important part of the solution where we all can contribute. I hope you enjoy Mark's presentation.
Hi, my name's Mark Jacobsen, Managing Director of Replas. It's terrific and great to be part of the 2020 Sustainability Symposium. Replas is a company that makes over 250 different products. It's made from the community's waste, being problematic soft plastic. Some of it comes from Coles and Woolworths through the supermarket chain, collected by RedCycle. These recycled plastic products are fit for purpose with schools. The students get to see what is possible with the waste in a fit for purpose, long-lasting environment. Today we're going to show you some innovative videos. The first one I'm going to show you is Recycling Comes the Full Circle.
Since 1991, Replas has combined their unique expertise, manufacturing capabilities and state-of-the-art machinery to create the durable, long-lasting recycled plastic products they are known for today. With the help of the RedCycle program, you can take your soft plastic down to your local Coles or Woolworths, where the material will be bagged up and sent to a local depot for baling to become available for Replas to turn into finished products. The soft plastic material is then placed into a large shredder, downsizing them to a more usable size. From there, the material follows the conveyors up into a granulator, downsizing them again into 40mm flakes. This is the material Replas needs to supply the next machine, densifying the material down even further. Other recycled material is then blended to get the properties and colours required for the end products. Once they've been mixed and loaded into the machine then melts the plastic and pushes it into dyes that make the product. Replas is at the forefront of technology and boasts a range of cutting-edge machinery tended by the latest fully automated robotics, ensuring they operate with a high degree of efficiency. The robotics allow Replas to make products with minimal human intervention, keeping the prices as low as possible. The robots go as far as stacking the products onto an end pallet, ready for shipping. Our bollards provide a rigid, resistant barrier to define boundaries, deter vehicles and pedestrian access. Our decking, known as EnduroPlank, is suitable in a variety of ecosystems and applications. The easy-to-install system provides a sturdy, long-lasting solution. Our fencing is comprised of recycled plastic bollards and picket fencing for a hard-wearing solution for any fencing needs. Our fitness trails are unique outdoor self-guided exercise systems that are user and environmentally friendly, perfect for schools, parks and gardens. Our furniture range comprises of benches, seats and picnic settings with low maintenance aspects and built-in colour options. They offer high UV resistance, ensuring longevity. Our traffic control consists of wheel stops, rumble bars and speed humps. No rotting, splitting or cracking makes them ideal for any car park or road safety installs. With plastic use on the rise, we need to create a sustainable community that reduces, reuses and recycles plastics. At Replas, we see waste as a valuable resource and a part of making this world more sustainable. What is the environmental cost of not being involved in the circular economy? By rethinking your selection and procurement of recycled plastic products, you become the true recycler. Everyone touches plastic, and we must be more accountable and responsible if we are to drive demand for recycled plastic products.
The next video I'm about to show you is called the circular economy. It's a great illustration of how the problematic plastics are collected through supermarkets like Coles and Woolworths, and that problematic plastic comes back into products, into the community and into schools.
We all use plastics every day. From the packaging around our foods to the bumpers on our cars, plastic is all around us. However, we are now facing a plastic problem. In 2016, only 2% of the 78 million tonnes of plastic packaging material was recycled worldwide in a closed-loop system. Considering the amount of fossil resources that have gone into the production of these plastics, they are too valuable to simply throw away. Our current use and dispose economy is unsustainable and has a devastating environmental cost. By 2025, it is expected that the ratio of plastic to fish in the ocean will be 1 to 3, and without significant action, there may be more plastic than fish in the ocean by 2050. China, along with other export markets, are refusing problematic waste, serving as a wake-up call for the Australian waste industry. It is now more important than ever that we find innovative ways to take responsibility for our waste. But the question is, how? To combat our growing waste crisis, we must create our own sustainable system where we rethink, reduce, reuse and recycle plastics. This is called the circular economy. It ensures that plastic waste is being processed to create viable products fit for purpose. At Replas, we are world leaders in technology and the manufacturing of recycled plastic products. We do our part in reducing the amount of plastic going to landfill. Our industry partner, Red Group, has teamed up with Coles and Woolworths, along with over 54 partner organisations, including some of Australia's biggest brands, to create the Red Cycle program. This program helps to collect the most complex stream of the waste to process, post-consumer soft plastic packaging. This waste is then transformed by Replas into useful goods, such as bollards, fencing, decking, signage, and park benches for schools, councils, and governments. These products are durable, fit for purpose, and made with 98+% recycled plastic. By rethinking your purchasing habits and choosing to buy recycled plastic products, you become the true recycler. we must all be more responsible if we are to drive demand for recycled products, thus creating a true circular economy.
Through our sustainable cities and communities, we've created some really good installation videos. We're about to show you some really nice ways where waste, problematic plastic, has been used in a fit-for-purpose application in schools.
My name's Clinton Sharvey, Principal of Corpus Christi Catholic School in Belrive, Hobart. We're located on the Eastern Shore, 10 minutes from the city centre. So our classes identified the immediate use of plastic they had within our own school context. We emptied rubbish bins and collected all different types of plastic. We identified that there was a huge amount of wastage, not just within our own context, but connected it more globally. We then explored alternatives in terms of reliable, sustainable and sturdy seating that we were able to replace to go into our design for our outdoor environment. So our motivation was based on looking at a product that connected with our students, and through units on sustainability in each classroom, we were able to come up with the Replas product, which really encouraged that recycling which our students were looking at.
I'm Damien Reeser, a utility officer at Corpus Christi Catholic School. Our maintenance is quite easy now with this product. When it gets wet, it doesn't rot. We can wipe it down. If there's damage to a particular piece, all we need to do is replace it by unscrewing it and screwing it back on. We don't need to use wood anymore. Wood was always a problem in the fact that we had to keep sanding, replacing, splintering, and also it's safer for the kids to be about on.
We had a tired, dated outdoor environment, lots of bitumen, it was cold and limited seating, and the seating we did have required some fixing in terms of being just pure old timber seats. We now have over 30 seats, including benches, retrofitted benches, as well as standard seats which are used for all our students during eating time and recess and lunch. So first and foremostly, this was about our students making a real connection and some meaning making around their own sustainability and into the future. It was really connected from both current contexts within the classroom to more global issues, and the fact of the matter is our students see this lived out in how they can influence change in terms of this wonderful seating that we have. It's really practical, reliable, sturdy seating. Our students use it during eating time and in fact can use it every day of the year, and our students have real ownership on what we've created.
I'm Greg Lacey and I'm Principal at Lyndhurst Primary School, and we've just bought recycled plastic modular benches for our playground. We chose recycled plastic for lots of reasons. The school has a real commitment to sustainability and sustainable products. I've certainly used recycled plastic products before in schools. This is the second school I've been principal at, and we use those products at my previous school as well. So it's a great demonstration to the community of our commitment. Some of the benches around the place are wooden benches, and we know that they take a lot of maintenance. They're cracking, they need painting. We just find the recycled plastic products completely maintenance free, which is great for us. The teaching staff love the kookaburra settings outside the classrooms. They like to push the kids into the outdoors to do some of their learning, so they've been great. The recycled seating, the students had a lot of say in where that seating went, and it gives us some great quiet spaces in the playground. The PFA have been really pleased with the way it's all been installed, and they did most of the fundraising, which has been great for them. And our maintenance guy loves it because he doesn't have to do anything. I think in terms of practicality, commitment to the environment, and in terms of ongoing maintenance, I'd certainly recommend recycled plastic products for all schools.
Hey, thank you very much for looking at these videos. The most critical part about recycling is what we call the pull-through effect. The fact that if people buy or procure recycled plastic, it means we could take a lot more raw materials in. In actual fact, recycling only begins when the purchase takes place. So thank you for considering Replas and recycled plastic products.
The history of Suez is about an ambition to support major revolutions for human progress. It's the history of hundreds of innovations that help improve mankind's health, protect the environment, and preserve resources essential for life. In 1869, Suez becomes the name of a canal. This was the inauguration of a technological feat that gathered for over 11 years the expertise of the best engineers of the time. By creating the Universal Maritime Suez Canal Company, Ferdinand de Lesseps wanted to fulfill the crazy ambition of the pharaoh's ancient dream to connect east and west by building a 160-kilometer canal between the Red Sea and the Mediterranean. Since the first day of operation, the Suez Canal revolutionized world trade.
Le canal de Suez, c'est le début de notre histoire.
It's the beginning of our industrial adventure and the birth of our name, Suez.
But it's much more than this.
Es la voluntad de participar en la construcción de un mundo nuevo.
De un bienestar compartido por todos que nos motiva a día.
At the end of the 19th century, with the Industrial Revolution underway, history speeds up and the world begins its urbanization. Water, an essential resource, becomes a public health issue.
Imagine, in those days, almost no one had access to running water at home.
Side by side with cities, Suez plays a key role in the public hygiene revolution. Engineers innovate in the field of water services. They're able to build water and wastewater infrastructures over great distances. Since 1880, large European cities like Paris, Bordeaux, and Barcelona developed their first water and wastewater networks. This revolution in public hygiene results in fewer epidemics, a lower mortality rate, and constantly increasing life expectancy. At the beginning of the 20th century, household waste becomes the next public health issue.
We've always been pioneers in waste management.
In Paris, Suez invents the first ever motorized refuse collection vehicles and introduces a waste collection system using 300 traction vehicles. After World War II, metropolises emerge across Europe, America, and Asia, and cities equip and modernize. Vast urban areas have to be managed sustainably, and suburban growth must be supported. It's no longer enough to supply water to the city. Now it's also a question of ensuring a constant level of quality, meeting the massive rise in consumption, whilst avoiding wasting water and treating urban wastewater and industrial effluents. Urban growth also forces a change in waste management. Suez innovates by creating facilities capable of managing waste on a large scale. Challenges faced by countries in the north are now becoming issues for the south.
苏伊士能源集团不断创新，为世界各地人们提供饮用水，缺水地区的居民也包括在内。
At the end of the 1990s, Suez became a world reference in environmental services in Europe, the USA, South America, China, Africa, the Middle East, and shortly afterwards in Australia. On the 12th of December 2015, at the end of the COP21, the first Universal Climate Agreement was signed unanimously by 195 states and the European Union. Citizens everywhere take action for the climate and the environment and call on all players to step up their contribution. 150 years after the inauguration of the Suez Canal, a winning spirit continues to motivate all the group's employees. Suez is announcing a new ambition to shape a sustainable environment now with cities, industries and citizens.
Sustainable solutions enable our customers to have a positive impact on climate and on the planet's natural capital.
Parce que l'innovation change le monde, nous imaginons des modèles zéro déchet.
We develop cutting-edge technology solutions to optimize water use.
Dépolluer les sols, améliorer la qualité de l'air et rendre les villes intelligentes.
Our solutions will enable our customers to avoid yearly 20 million tons of carbon emissions by 2030.
100% des solutions que nous proposerons aux villes et aux industriels d'ici 2030 seront durables.
Motivated by a passion for the environment, the 90,000 Suez employees are committed to inventing disruptive solutions to preserve and restore the fundamental elements of the environment, water, air and soil, and to shaping a sustainable environment together, now. Suez, the winning spirit.
Madison Lucas is the second presenter in the resource recovery component of the Operational Leader program. Madison is OzHarvest Food, Education and Sustainability Training, or FEAST for short, Queensland's Education Coordinator. FEAST combines nutrition, food waste and sustainability in a curriculum-ready package for Australian primary schools. Maddie's passion for holistic health education stems from her studies in nutrition, health promotion, public health and education. Maddie's nutritional knowledge and experience teaching STEM in rural Queensland communities has enabled her to roll out the FEAST education program across the state, ensuring all children have the ability to learn where food comes from, its nutritional value, and how to prepare healthy meals sustainably in a classroom setting. There's still space available for Queensland schools to participate in FEAST, and we hope you enjoy Madison's presentation.
OzHarvest rescues quality surplus food and delivers it to people in need. We nourish 1,300 charities across Australia. Along with our food rescue, we have education, engagement and innovation projects with our goal to halve food waste by 2030. FEAST, short for Food Education and Sustainability Training, focuses on the cross-curriculum priorities of sustainability and STEM learning outcomes. In the program, students get to do creative cooking practicals and also project-based learning, with the hope of the students building their skills to become change makers in their communities, to embody OzHarvest's vision of fighting food waste and having a world free from hunger. When FEAST was rolled out across New South Wales last year, we had a 12% increase in fruit consumption amongst the students. We also had 10% decrease in junk foods. 95% of students reported that their self-confidence increased and that they were more able to cook and prepare meals. 76% of those students said that they now cook at home with their families. Teachers are very satisfied with the FEAST program because it covers a range of learning outcomes, including science, technology, maths, and English learning areas. The hands-on cooking experiences are the most valuable for students because they have the theory coming into practice, learning about how to cook and prepare sustainable food for them to eat. OzHarvest delivers on the UN Sustainable Development Goals as we try to build a world free from food waste and hunger. The goals that we are focusing on in our programs are no poverty under Goal 1, zero hunger under Goal 2, reducing inequalities in Goal 10, responsible consumption and production of food and resources under Goal 12, and also partnerships for goals, which is Goal 17. For society to face the future, we need to work together. Government, corporate, and not-for-profit. Together, we can create measurable, real change. FEAST is recognised as contributing to the SDGs through local action. In the FEAST program, we have practical cooking components that help teach children basic cooking skills, how to cook, using different utensils that they would find at home in a kitchen kit that can be used in the classroom. FEAST incorporates different kinds of lessons that are engaging and exciting for children that focus on food waste, but also about nutrition. The lessons go into a lot of detail about different food groups and the importance of eating fruit and vegetables. And then we also incorporate different cooking practicals that focus on fruit and vegetables, and they are all green traffic light approved. Rather than focusing on standalone subjects like maths or English, FEAST incorporates many subjects in the one area, STEM-based, in a project-based learning experience for children. For me, the most exciting thing about FEAST is that it puts into practice plans for the SGDs to be implemented in schools and in the community. Teachers and students are provided with the tools that they need to go out into the community and be change makers to develop a more sustainable future. It's hands-on, it's impactful, it's immediate, and it's lots of fun as well. Queensland currently has the funding to implement the program in your school at no charge. The program includes a downloadable curriculum package, including lesson plans and unit of works. We have a 3-hour online teacher training module, and also the kitchen kits and the frying pans, so all you need is the groceries. We would love your school to implement the UN Sustainable Development Goals through OzHarvest Feast program. Visit ozharvest.org/feast for more information, to find out ways to get in contact and to register your interest now.
EcoAvengers is an in-school educational program based on bringing sustainable environmental education to our schools. Our curriculum covers environmental issues and topics such as what is waste, the importance of identifying waste, and the effects waste has on our planet. EcoAvengers understand how important it is to ensure our future generations are armed with the right knowledge and tools to protect their future. Our vision is to engage, educate, and enlist a team of EcoAvengers that will become everyday heroes and help save the Earth.
Our programs align with the United Nations 17 Sustainable Development Goals. These goals are a call to action by all countries to promote prosperity while protecting the planet. They address a range of issues including education, health, climate change and environmental education. For every student that participates in our program, we donate a gold coin to the Smith family so they can create better futures for our children, which aligns with the first Sustainable Development Goal of poverty.
Our in-school initiatives allow us to broaden our audience to senior schools. Our one-off programs highlight the importance of environmental topics such as fast fashion, e-waste, and ecology with messages that engage and inspire our senior students to take action. These programs are an additional benefit to our host schools and their students by combining issues that are important to our planet with themes that our senior students can relate to.
Our programs are written by current practicing teachers aligning heavily with the Australian curriculum. Our highly engaging programs are delivered by passionate industry professionals with a vision to inspire environmental learning for all young Australian students. Cross-curriculum learning is fundamental. Education for sustainability develops the knowledge, skills, values and worldviews necessary for people to act in ways that contribute to more sustainable patterns of living.
Festival of Sustainable Arts are 3 annually run festivals focusing on art, short film and fashion. The purpose of FOSSA is to create a platform for students from grade 3 to 12 with a passion for the creative arts to be inspired to express what sustainability means to them. Each festival will run workshops hosted by industry professionals, a gala awards night and key learning presentations to further develop their artistic expression.
All of our programs provide activity-based learning to engage the student audience. Offering interactions and encouragement, students develop the environmental understanding of how their actions relate to them, their school and their community. EcoAvengers provides a safe space to engage students in conversation to develop their understanding of the topics presented in each program.
To find out more about how EcoAvengers can benefit your school community, simply contact us at ecoavengers.com.au.
Introducing Gold Coast local Anthony Hill. As a lifelong surfer and snorkeler, Anthony confesses a deep connection and respect for the ocean. He has been a plastic pollution educator and advocate for 10 years, both in Australia and abroad. Anthony founded Plastic Pollution Solutions Education in 2014 and has worked with schools from North Queensland to Tasmania. Their mission is to inspire a shift in culture around single-use plastic and waste, beginning with our youngest citizens. Plastic Pollution Solutions has covered over 150,000 kilometres, partnered with countless schools, community groups and councils, forged associations with key scientists, reaching tens of thousands of Australians of all ages. We hope you enjoy Anthony's presentation at the 2020 Sustainability Symposium.
Hi everybody at the Symposium. My name's Anthony and this is my friend Genevieve, and I'm from Plastic Pollution Solutions, and I'd like to have a bit of a chat to you today about how the solution to plastic pollution is directly connected to and relevant to Sustainable Development Goals number 11 and 17. So much like many of you, I grew up by the ocean on the coast, and I was a keen surfer and sailor, and I used to go snorkeling with my friends, and I still do all those things today. But back then, I used to have a lot of fun in the ocean and regarded the ocean as pretty much a place I could have fun in. It wasn't until later on that I realized how the ocean supports and sustains all life on our planet. I had no idea that 2/3 of the oxygen that we all need to live, and most creatures out there need to live, is created in the ocean. And so much of our food comes from the ocean, and the ocean also influences weather and climate, which is our rain, which is our drinking water. So now I fully understand how important the ocean is. Later on in life, I went traveling and I ended up in Norway, on the other side of the world. Norway is known for being a really, pure and clean country, and they've got these beautiful waterways known as fjords. And I used to go kayaking around in these fjords, majestic places, and it was there that I actually discovered plastic floating around. And I was blown away by how much plastic I was finding in such a small country with such a small population, and it led me on this whole journey, a journey of discovering how much plastic is actually out there in the ocean. And not only out there in the ocean, but also we found out now it's in our air particles, and it's in our drinking water, and it's in our food, and so many of the other creatures out there that we love and we love having around us and make up our environment. These poor creatures are also swallowing and getting entangled in plastic pollution as well. So Sustainable Development Goal number 11 is about sustainable cities and communities. And to me, when I hear the word sustainable, I think of that we need to create the conditions so that future generations, multiple, infinite future generations, can not only survive but thrive and have have the same kind of conditions that we had, that we were able to grow up in, and so that they can thrive as much as we did. So the solution to plastic pollution, to me, is also about partnerships. And I've seen it happening as well. It's about you and I as individuals, realizing our role in the solution, but it's also us either with a group of friends or with our classmates, with our whole school, with our whole community, getting together and embracing the solutions, being a part of the solution to plastic pollution. But it's not only about that, it's about including businesses and government. Everyone needs to be involved if we are going to be able to solve this issue completely and finally. I hope you're all surviving all of these tough and unusual times at the moment, and washing your hands. And keep in mind, when you're washing your hands, try to use bar soap rather than that ridiculous liquid soap in plastic containers. And this is my pop plant friend Gwendolyn, and just to tell you a little bit more about what Plastic Pollution Solutions does, we believe that if everybody really deeply understood the problem of plastic pollution, in essence, the causes, the superficial causes and the underlying causes, and what it's doing to our beautiful environment and our wildlife, and even to us humans, I think people, when they understood that, they would want to be a part of the solution. They'd want to address it in some way. And there are a lot of people out there who do understand that, but they kind of don't know how to go about addressing it in their own way. So that's where we come in. We have an educational program. We travel to different communities, have so far travelled from all the way up in North Queensland down to southern Tasmania. And we pretty much try and give a thorough education on the causes, the scale, the impacts of plastic pollution to everybody at the school and even in community groups as well, but also bring follow-up activities that are designed to show the extent of plastic pollution at your school, and then bring into effect some initiatives and projects which are designed to shift the culture. And when I say shift the culture, I mean it's about changing our mindset and our and the way we operate at the school when it comes to especially single-use plastic and waste. So then we hope that by doing this, within a few years at your school, you might not even need garbage bins anymore. There'll be no more single-use plastic. There'll be very little or a lot less waste, and you might even save some money on waste collection costs as well. A lot of schools are doing that. So if you'd like to find out more about the program, just jump on our website. It's plasticpollutionsolutions.com.au. On Instagram, I'm Captain Plastic_PPS. And send me an email, give me a call, and I hope to come to your school at some point, whenever you think you're ready for it. See ya.
I'm sure you've heard at least something about coral reefs. Other than being incredibly beautiful, coral reefs also have an important role in nature. Not many people know, but coral reefs actually cover only a tiny percentage of the oceanic floor, but they support the ocean's oxygen production. The ocean generates about half of the Earth's oxygen. This is half of the air we breathe. We will not survive a minute without corals. But what is a coral anyway? Are corals a rock, maybe plants or animals? If you guessed animals, you are correct. Coral reefs are one of the most diverse ecosystems in nature. Just picture this. The Great Barrier Reef in Australia is actually the largest coral reef in the world, the equivalent to 70 million football fields. That's one big reef. Sadly though, these ecosystems are under pressure. They are affected by pollution coming from factories, vehicle emissions, agriculture, and even what you pour down the drain affects them. Tourists touching and stepping on coral reefs also contribute to their destruction. Even many sunscreen lotions kill and make our corals sick. How is it that not everyone knows this? Everyone needs to know. We need to understand corals so that we can protect these fascinating ecosystems. In this course, you will learn about the incredible biology of coral reefs and learn how they are affected by climate change and other threats. And eventually be involved in a community to get involved with supporting conservation initiatives in their area. Just imagine how much you can do and contribute to maintain our coral reefs. Be the voice of these beautiful ecosystems, and let's teach everyone how to protect our oceans.
Adam Nicholson is our final presenter in the resource recovery component of our program. Adam is an experienced customer and community engagement professional, specialising in developing integrated marketing and customer engagement programs built on quantifiable customer insights research. He developed campaigns for a wide range of government and private sector clients in health, transport, property, utilities in Australia and the United Kingdom before joining Container Exchange as their first Queensland employee. Adam has travelled from Cooktown to Coolangatta in the past 18 months to engage charities, community groups and local businesses and spread the word of Queensland's new container refund scheme, Containers for Change. We hope you enjoy Adam's presentation.
Hi and welcome to Containers for Change. My name is Adam Nicholson and I work for a Container Exchange, and today I'm going to tell you a little bit about Queensland's Container Refund Scheme, how you can get involved and what some of the benefits might be. We are a not-for-profit that was set up to roll out the Containers for Change scheme.
So in Queensland, we use what's called a product responsibility or a product stewardship model. And that essentially means that we involve the manufacturers of the beverages in the entire product life cycle. So that includes, after a drink has been consumed, how do we make sure that it doesn't end up in landfill and it doesn't end up in our beautiful environment? And we involve the beverage manufacturers in that, and we charge them for the cost of the scheme, and they pass on some or all of the cost of the scheme. So that is what gives the scheme its refund for people to go in and get that money returned to them. So at Containers for Change, we've been running for about 18 months. And how does it work? Well, you've probably heard about it if you haven't used it already, but effectively the model is fairly simple. You register with the scheme for a scheme ID. And what that means is that you can then, when you collect your eligible containers, and they have to be eligible containers, you can then return your containers in a number of ways. One of them might be just over the counter. Some of our customers like cash on the spot, and that's definitely something you can do at over-the-counter depots. But we also have bag drops and mobile and pop-up and a range of other services that we offer to our customers. 10 cents on every eligible container creates a financial incentive for individuals or community groups to collect as many as they can and to return them for that refund. So when we rolled out this scheme, our goal was not just to get those excellent environmental benefits that a scheme can offer, but we also wanted to go beyond that. We wanted to actually deliver value back into communities. So whether that's into the hip pockets of individuals or families, we also wanted to make sure that community groups and charity groups or not-for-profits had the ability to participate within the scheme. We also wanted to create increased business and employment opportunities within the communities that we operate. And so that's been a big focus for us. Obviously, protecting not just the environment itself, but Queensland's unique marine and animal wildlife were a big part. But ideally, overall, we would like to create a scheme where charities and not-for-profit groups can raise money easily while doing a good thing at the same time. So if we're increasing recycling but also helping all these great causes, then that was the double goal for Containers for Change when we set up the network. So we've been operating for about 18 months now, and we've made quite a deal of progress. More than 1.6 billion containers. We've returned more than $160 million back into the pockets of those recyclers. So we now have more than 300 places where people can return their containers and get their refund. And we know that Queensland is different to other states, so we needed to make sure that we had a model that could work on the Gold Coast as well as it could up on the Gulf or indeed the remote Far West, for example. In the 18 months that we've been operating, we've seen the creation of 700 real jobs, absolutely brand new jobs. So we're very proud, not just of the $160 million that we've given back to the community as refunds, but we're actually very proud of the fact that we've actually created some sustainable jobs and businesses within those communities as well. So if you'd like to get involved, maybe you'd like to raise some money for your school or for your charity. It doesn't matter whether you are interested in the fundraising or just interested in increasing the awareness and take-up of recycling across the state. We'd love to work with you because I think we have the same goal. So probably the number one step is to make a Containers for Change champion within your school, to make sure that the project has a contact, someone that all of the inquiries from within the school or the P&C can go through, because that makes it really easy for us to have a clear point of contact. Now, I would suggest also that you sign up for a scheme ID. If you're a charity group or a community group, then you will need to register for a scheme ID. Once you've done that, you're really ready to go. You're ready to start talking to some of the people at Containers for Change. You can go to containersforchange.com.au and look at the map there and find your nearest CRP or container refund point. Another advantage is to set yourself up as a virtual donation point. And what that means is if you push your scheme ID through to your fans and followers, your network of supporters, they can go and use your scheme ID to donate at their nearest CRP. So if you need any help with marketing or participating in the scheme, we'd love to hear from you. Just drop us an email, marketing at containersforchange.com.au. So please reach out, we'd love to talk to you, we'd love to hear from you, and we'd love to help spread the word for recycling. We're the organisation, a not-for-profit organisation, who set up and run the Container Refund Scheme here in Queensland. We've been going for about 18 months. We have collected more than 1.6 billion containers. That's $160 million returned back into the community. Many of those are individuals, but we also know that more than 3,400 community groups and charities have registered with the scheme. We know that 450 schools here in Queensland have a scheme ID. The top 10 schools alone, we know that they account for 25% of the total refunds assigned to scheme IDs. So let's talk a little bit about sustainable development. We know that the UN, or the United Nations, has 17 sustainable development goals, and we feel that we align with several of those. If we look at number 11, to make cities and human settlements inclusive, safe, resilient and sustainable. Well, our main priority is to make our scheme and the recycling opportunities that go with it accessible to all Queenslanders. So we work with our stakeholder network to increase and improve accessibility for recycling right across Queensland. Before the scheme started, less than half of Queensland's shire councils had a yellow curbside recycling service. So that means that more than half of Queensland, in geography, not population, but more than half of Queensland is experiencing access to recycling for the very first time in the 18 months that Containers for Change has been running. And we're very proud of that. Our recycled material is sold on our auction portal only to accredited recyclers, and then that's manufactured back into recycled goods or other products. So we are creating that circular economy here in Queensland by building a network that is inclusive, safe, resilient and sustainable. Number 12 is probably the one that ties to us most closely. Ensure sustainable consumption and production patterns. So in Queensland, almost 3 billion drink containers are generated, and less than half of those were being recycled before the scheme started. Drink containers were the second most littered item. When it did its consultation around the design for the scheme, Queensland opted for what is called a product stewardship model. And that means we involve and invite the participation of the manufacturers or businesses that have contributed to the products that created the litter or the pollution in the first place. From November 2018 to 30 June 2019, more than 31 tonnes of material had been sold to recyclers. We have a target of 85% of our containers being recycled by 2022. By 2030, our goal is to substantially reduce waste generation through prevention, reduction, recycling and reuse. Goal number 16 for the United Nations is to promote peaceful and inclusive societies or sustainable development, provide access to justice for all and build effective, accountable and inclusive institutions at all levels. Well, in Queensland, the scheme is available to all Queenslanders, and all community groups, include schools, sporting clubs, anything like that, are encouraged to register for a scheme ID and participate in the scheme. In our mind, fundraising and the ability to generate revenue equals opportunity. We've seen more than 700 jobs, real jobs, created right across the network. The best bit though is that the growth of our business, or the growth of their individual businesses, is connected to the growth of recycling and the growth of the sustainable environmental goals that we're wanting to achieve. United Nations goal number 17 is to strengthen the means of implementation and revitalise the global partnership for sustainable development. Sustainability is embedded into our scheme model. When you return containers, you divert that same amount of waste away from landfill and the environment. Stakeholders in our network are all working towards a common goal, cohesively working together because we have the same interest, the same outcome. So let's talk about some success stories. Well, the Rolleston State School has collected more than 130,000 containers. They're about an 8-hour drive northwest of Brisbane, quite a small school, but they have raised $13,000 out of those 130,000 containers. Another example is at Hermit Park State School. They've been pioneering recycling at local events. For the first time in the event's 11-year history, the Townsville 400 trialled a container recycling initiative. the school's P&C is fundraising for an $80,000 playground, and they collected about 30,000 cans and bottles over 3 days with amongst their 65 volunteers. So that's well on the way to helping them to achieve their goals. So look, that's a bit of a summary of how we at Containers for Change see our contribution to sustainable development. It's a concept that we hold very close to our heart, and it's something that we've tried to implement at every level of the organisation. Thank you.
Time won't stop, so gonna get on the ride, twisting and turning through life. No matter how rough it gets, I'll get by. Home moves with me where I roam. It's in every dream I make my own. I'm never alone. I know that every day will always bring me something new.